Hey there, comic book friends. This is Travis, and I'm sitting outside of the old homestead, and this is another edition of No Capes. We'll jump right into this. First off, I'm going to talk about BPRD Hell on Earth, The Long Death, number 3 of 3. Awesome cover there. This has actually been a pretty cool, 3-issue miniseries. I'm not sure, there's parts of the story that, as I talked about last time, I'm not 100% up to date on as far as exactly what's going on. There's some great images in this, some great massive fights. I mean, heck, any book that you can have a demon jaguar versus a zombie moose is a pretty cool fight as far as I'm concerned. There's some pretty good poignant stuff in this in this issue. I'm really liking it. Like I said, I'm still trying to explore exactly how the numbering system all works for these books and whatnot, and what order they're in and stuff. But these have been fun little interesting reads. I mean, if you're into the kind of, Call of Cthulhu, somewhat mystical, paranormal type story, I think these are well worth checking out. They're not 100% stereotypical, but yeah, and they're really enjoyable. I really can't say a lot about this without really giving things away, and because this happens to be a book that's currently being put out right now, I'm a little hesitant to talk too much about it because I don't know that anybody who might be interested in reading this has picked it up or read it, so I don't want to spoil anything in it. So. But I'm like I said, I'm highly enjoying it. I like the artwork that was in it, and I like the story ideas and stuff. It's really interesting. I'm certainly going to be going back and exploring some of these books, other miniseries along these lines. When they start coming out in trades and whatnot, I think is when I'll pick most of them up. Any of the older stuff and whatnot. Next up, I want to talk about Fatale, and this is number 4. I'm enjoying this book. It's not like totally wowing me. I like the pulp noir of it. It's interesting. I'm not sure it's not surprising me, I guess is what I was hoping for. That's what would have made this book a really great book for me, is if it was telling me something that really surprised me. And so far, it's been good, it's gritty, and it's got all that kind of stuff for it and whatnot. And of course, I enjoyed the occult end of it. I'm enjoying that part also, but there's no real surprise. It's not like the story so far has shocked me or thrown some crazy twist in it and whatnot. But it's been an enjoyable read. I know people were initially talking about the first issues of this picking up and whatnot, but I haven't seen very many people doing reviews of any other issues of it. So I'm just wondering, is it getting to the point where I'm the only person I know that's picking this up? Or are just people not talking about it as much? Anyway, like I said, it's been an enjoyable read if you like the kind of detective pulp noir kind of thing, and this has got a little bit of spin of the occult on it. It's been enjoyable. It's been enjoyable, but just no surprises, and that's really kind of what I was hoping for, to really put this book over the top, would be as if it had something in there that I didn't kind of see coming. Anyway, next up, I want to talk about Saucer Country. This is a Vertigo title. This is issue number 2. I didn't get a chance to talk about issue number 1. I really liked issue number 1. It was interesting. This issue number 2 really sets the stage. Man, this book is going to be cool. It's got a political bent to it. The whole politics. One of our main characters is running for President of the United States. She's discovered that thinks she's been abducted by aliens. Another one of the main characters in this is her campaign manager, who of course thinks she, crazy that she thinks she's been abducted. She hasn't exposed to everybody that she thinks she's been abducted, just some core people, and so that's kind of interesting. She's now really inspired to become President of the United States, so she can use those resources to protect everybody from these aliens that are abducting people and probing them and whatnot. The aliens seem to look like your stereotypical 1950s gray skin, short, big black-eyed type aliens, and there's some stuff in there to talk about the fact, how could that possibly be? You know, and the discussion is well, maybe the reason that those 1950s movies and stuff had aliens looking the way they did is because those people had been abducted or subconsciously knew that that's what they looked like, and just have, you know, can't really talk about it, and that's their way of talking about it. There's a character in this that's a I don't know if scientist is the right word for him. He's kind of an anthropologist, but he's an anthropologist of modern myth, and he's an interesting character. He's got two little people who talk to him. He thinks he's crazy. He's not sure if he should believe in these people, but they actually tell him the truth, and they predict what's going to happen before it happens, kind of a thing. So it must be real, right? Either that or he's, you know, psychic, one of the two. So, but I'm really liking this. I love Ryan Kelly's artwork. He does such a great job with this type of stuff. He conveys emotions so well. He makes real people look like real people. His aliens are looking like they're going to be pretty sinister and whatnot. Very excited about this book. Paul Cornell's writing on it is top notch. This is kind of West Wing meets FX Files. X-Files, not FX Files. X-Files. So yeah, so it's pretty good stuff. It's a great combination of the two things. It works really well. And I'm gonna wait for this really loud truck to go by. Hillbillies and their big noisy trucks. Anyway, next I want to talk about Northlanders number 50. This is the final issue of this series, and it is also the final issue of the Icelandic trilogy, which was made up of actually 9 stories. Each part of the trilogy was told in 3 issues about a family in Iceland from its first generation of first landing on Iceland until basically its decimation at the end. This was a good story. This will make a great trade. Most of the Northlanders stuff makes great trades. The beautiful thing about the Northlanders is it isn't telling the same story about the same characters all the time. It tells different stories. They just all happen to be in kind of the Northlands, and you know, the Vikings and that sort of thing. I have loved this series all the way through. The only issues of this book that I ever had a problem with was the heavy metal ones, which was Brian Wood collaborating with his artist from DMZ, and my only issue with it is it had actual mystic stuff in it. I've always liked this thing because it's always felt very grounded in reality. I don't mind somebody drinking shroom soup and hallucinating that something's going on, but when the actual supernatural happened, that kind of I didn't like those stories as much because I thought it broke away from what this story as a whole was. This book as a whole was. It wasn't Conan. It wasn't Kroll. It wasn't some mythical thing. It was reality, real, and I really liked it. And I really like this book. I think it's a shame it's gone. I've enjoyed some of the Conans that I've been reading with him and Becky Coolin, but it's not the same. It isn't. I mean, some people will say, oh, if you like Northlanders, check out this. Well, yeah, I guess if you just like the swords and the armor and stuff like that, check it out. But the two things aren't the same. They have a different appeal to them. I will sorely miss this book. I think it was a huge mistake for Vertigo to can it. But I guess maybe this frees Brian up to do some other stuff. Anyway, really enjoyed it. This was a good issue 2. I would recommend picking up the trade when it comes out. Heck, I recommend picking up any of the Northlander trades. Doesn't matter what order you read them in. Plague Widow is probably one of the best ones. I think there's another one that's called like Hammer and Sickle or something like that. That's Brian Wood and Ryan Kelly. Those two are always a great combination. That would be another great trade to pick up. There's one with Becky Coolin, Girl in the Ice. I don't know how that's going to build as a trade, but whatever story that's in, that would be a great trade too, because that's an excellent story arc also. There's a story arc with Fiona Staples, which is an excellent arc. It looks like Fiona Staples' work, but it's a little different because she doesn't color it. Dave Craig does the coloring on it, but still excellent. I'm just naming some of these people off because I know right now Fiona Staples' name is out there, because next we're going to talk about Saga #2 by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples on art. Oh wow, this book is great. Some people were worried that maybe the second issue wouldn't hold the hype or the excitement of the first issue. Matter of fact, I think the second issue is even better. We're getting more and more about these characters. I love Hazel, our baby, who is the narrator through part of it. That narration is fabulous in this book. The artwork is stellar. I love the fact that people look so different. You don't have a bunch of white guys walking around talking and whatnot. You know, everybody seems ethnical in some sense. I mean, even if you took the horns and the wings off of them, they seem to be some multicultural mix of something and whatnot. It just makes it really great. The story, I think, is fabulous. This is one of those books that's going to be a joy over the long haul. It's not going to have fast payoffs, I don't think, but it's going to be absolutely fabulous. Some of the critters and people that are in this thing are just great. There's 3 or 4 plot lines that are going on, you know, to keep this whole thing interesting and whatnot. I love our 2 main characters. They're just fabulous. They seem so much like real people. Their conversations, the stuff they have, the stuff they joke about, tease each other about as a couple, just seems so real. The first issue was that way too. The whole birth scene seemed very real, and then fantastic at the same time. I could probably go on and on about this book, but I know there's a ton of other people out there who are reviewing it, have already reviewed it before I have, that have gone on about how great it is. But yeah, this is just top of my list kind of a book to read right now. It is so cool. It is so interesting. The production value of the book is fabulous by Image. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even say enough about just the different characters. I mean, the TV head people, the stock, the bounty hunter with all the arms and whatnot. You know, there's naked people in this thing. It's not gratuitous, at least not in my opinion. They are, you know, ridiculously mal-shaped. Well, I guess they are because they got multiple arms sometimes and stuff like that, or TV heads or whatever. But I don't know. The book is awesome. I can't wait to see what happens, where it goes. You know, this latest issue, the children that are at the end of the thing. Yeah, it's just gonna be an awesome ride. Get on board. There's not that many issues yet. Might be hard to find issue #1 now because I know some people are buying multiple copies and stuff, but you should be able to get one somewhere. Get on board, pick up this #2, and stay on board. Don't wait for trades, or you're going to be missing out. This is a book that possibly I'll probably pick up in trades too when it starts coming out in trades. You know, so I have a volume to sit away, and I have a volume I can sit on my shelf and just pop out anytime I want to and take a look at and read bits and pieces of it, because it's going to be that much fun to read over and over again, I think. Anyway, that's it for this week of, or this time of No Capes. When I have some more books that don't really have to do with superheroes or books that Ethan doesn't read, we'll do another review. Anyway, have a good one.